Welcome, welcome to the Big Bad Marketing Podcast. I'm Janae.
And I'm Brooke, and we are two entrepreneurs jumping headfirst into building a business.
We're marketers and we're content creators at heart. And in this podcast, we help small business owners learn how to play big with their marketing efforts, even on a small business budget.
So if you are ready to make big bad moves in your professional life, this podcast is for you. Welcome to episode 15. This is all about building a basic website. So the website is one of the foundational elements for all businesses, in our opinion. You may have listened to prior episodes where we discuss topics like email marketing and social media. And one of the caveats we say is, but first, before you jump into these, make sure your business does these important things. And it always includes building a website.
It's
So
2025, people. Get a website.
it's time. But Janae, aren't websites like crazy expensive? I'm a small
Oh my
business owner. I can't
God.
afford it.
Doesn't have to be. You certainly can go straight to like the Gucci, Louis Vuitton situation and get yourself a really expensive website, but it's not necessary. It might not even serve your purposes for the stage of your business. You don't have to hire a designer and pay thousands of dollars to get it started. You need what we call MVP, minimum viable product. And Brooke and I, we talk about MVP for big bad marketing all the time. So you don't need to build out all of the functionality or everything perfectly in this amazing way. You just need enough to get started. The bare bones, just the structure and the pipes have to be in place, the foundation. You will have plenty of time as your business keeps rolling forward and growing up to perfect the site and make it better and make it prettier and maybe invest thousands of dollars into building it out. But today, no, today you just got to get started, sign up on Squarespace or Wix for like $200. You can get this thing off the ground and have a digital storefront.
Yes. And there are certain indicators down the line that may tell you it's time to improve upon your website and maybe look at WordPress or custom development routes. But generally, that's going to be tied to traffic to your site and functionality that you require that your current site doesn't have. So until you have a certain amount of traffic, and your site is maybe not performing because of the high traffic, or you're looking for custom functionality like a member site or things that move around and get all crazy as you scroll down the page. These types of things are going to require that type of custom dev work, and that can be a future consideration. So, to Janae's point, today is all about the MVP. So, the most important pages that you need for your small business website. And yes, for around $200, you can do this yourself. So, one of the things that it's important to point out when you pay for your website, some people are surprised to find that you have to pay for it every year. So a website isn't something you buy one time and then it is yours forever. Like a house, you have to pay your mortgage every month or every year to be able to continue using it. And that's because you have a front end of your website, and then behind the scenes, you have servers and other, hardware and software elements that are supporting your website through the back end. So if you use a site like Squarespace or Wix, they are handling that hosting for you on the back end. If you use a custom designed site or a WordPress site, you then also have to pay for hosting in the back end. So keep in mind that yes, this is $200-ish a year. That's going to be a recurring expense for you each year. You're going to have to renew your web domain and you're going to have to pay for the hosting for your site. So plan accordingly, budget accordingly.
Brooke, where does spending thousands of dollars on a website design fit into that? Do you still need to have and pay for web hosting every year or monthly or however you do it, and the domain name? Domain name being like www.bigbadmarketing.com, for example.
Yes, great question. So the design element, that is often a one-time fee. So a designer that I work with frequently charges anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000 for a new website based on the complexity of the site and the elements that it requires. So that is a one-time fee. And once the designer does that, they release the rights to you, and now you have ownership of the site. What you will have to pay for on an ongoing basis is the renewal of your domain name, which happens every year, which that's normally around $20 or less, and then the hosting as well. So that's going to be either monthly or annually, depending on what you use.
So more or less, you are still going to have this 200-ish annual fee to have your site up, whether or not you've dropped 10K on the design of the website. Is that true?
Correct. And it may be less than that, depending
Sure.
on the type of hosting that you use. So, for an example, another client that I work with, we are going through the process right now of designing a new website. The all-in cost of that was about $10,000 for copy and photography and SEO and all those sorts of things. But the ongoing piece is only about $100 a year that's going toward hosting and domain.
Okay. So you, entrepreneur, small business owner, you maybe aren't super tech savvy yet or planning to be because your service or product doesn't have anything to do with the internet, right? Like you're a home services person or you're a financial advisor, right? Like those things, it doesn't really matter your level of knowledge of building websites. Tools like Wix and Squarespace, which by the way, we're using one of those, right? Like our website is
Squarespace.
hosted on that. So we we're also not graphic designers or website designers. And yet, go check out our website. We've done that all by ourselves. It makes it super easy for you to do it too. So don't feel like you have to suddenly build a website and drop a ton of money to make it happen. It makes it user friendly, easy to start, gives you lots of templates. So everything becomes plug and play. And for that nominal cost on an annual basis, you too can show up online and look professional.
Exactly. This is very much a DIY thing for your MVP. We love acronyms, DIY for your MVP. And we're going to tell you today exactly how to do that for yourself. So, really, there are 5 pages that you need on your small business website. That's it. It's only 5. Don't get scared. You don't have to build out, tens or hundreds of pages. All you need to get started is 5. So, the first one, the homepage. This is your first impression for a lot of people who are going to come to your website. So, as your website grows and gets bigger and you develop landing pages and things, people are going to come into your website elsewhere and maybe navigate back to your homepage to sort of figure out more about you. So, that homepage is kind of the hub for the things that you do. So when someone lands on that homepage, it should be super clear what you do and make it about them. So when you land on your homepage, always be thinking about it from a what's in it for me perspective from your ideal customer. So can you clearly convey to them, like if you go to bigbadmarketing.com, we say, don't play small with your marketing efforts. Stand out, be seen, even on a small business budget. And that's exactly what we do. So a small business owner might hit that and say, oh, okay, yeah, I've got a small business budget, but I still want to be able to market my business. So it's a really easy way to help people understand if what you do is for them.
Sure. And shout out to our recent podcast episode on user personas. This is a great time to have those characters sitting at the table with you as you're building out your website and think about what do they want to see? What do they want to know? What will help them understand what our business does within seconds of landing on this page? Because ultimately, actually, that's how long you have. You've got like 3 to 5 seconds to make a really clear, straightforward, simple impact and tell them what you do and what's in it for them.
Yes. So the words on your homepage matter. Less is more. People scan. We scan down the page with our eyes. And I think we talked about in the episode on blog posts is people tend to go in this sort of F pattern where they land on your page, they read across to the right, they come back to the side nav, they might dip in again sort of down the middle of your page and then make their way down. So everything that you put on the homepage should be obvious, it should be impactful, and you can link out to other sections of your site from the homepage as well. You might want to include testimonials. If you have a link to schedule appointments, you might want to include that. If you have a place where you can opt into a newsletter, you can include that on your homepage as well. So take advantage of the scrolling down. It doesn't need to be crazy long, but keep things concise and make it easy for somebody to understand what it is you do.
Oh, yes. Definitely don't make it super long. We just were looking at a website last week and I was like, oh my gosh, this page goes on forever, forever and ever. And I could never get to the bottom of it. So keep it concise. Do your customers a favor. Just show them what they want to see and then let them navigate from there because your website's going to be so easy to navigate.
Yes. And tell them what you want them to do. So that's a really important point. When they land on your page, they should know exactly where they're headed next. So if you are trying to get them to book an appointment, you should have a very clear button on your homepage that says, book an appointment here. If you want them to sign up for your newsletter, ask them. Ask them to do exactly the thing that you want them to do. If your big thing right now is that you've written a book, put a button on there for ways that they can buy your book or sign up for the wait list for your book. Don't let them wonder what they should be doing. Tell them exactly where to go. People love a map. Give me the directions.
Oh yeah. And it's another acronym for our fun acronym day, which is CTA. We've mentioned this a ton of times, but call to action. Make it really clear what is the call to action or the step that they should take next. All right.
So while
Oh, tell
you're,
us about, oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, while your homepage should be all about your customer, let's go into where you get to talk about yourself. Tell us about the
Ooh.
about page.
Okay. So the about page is going to be a page about you and your business, maybe both if those two things are separate. If you are relevant to what your business does, make sure it talks about you too. And so this is your opportunity to show your people who you are, how you do business, what your big visions are, what your business mission is, maybe some of the goals and the why behind your brand. And you can get bonus points if you're like, not only why behind our brand, but why we are the biggest and baddest in this industry, why you should work with us, especially if you don't say, this is why you should work with us, but you do so in an artful, well crafted way.
And be sure to put pictures on your about page. People want to see your face. They want to see that you are a real, legitimate human person and that they're not working with some AI robot across the pond somewhere. So make
Ooh,
it all about you.
what do you think about stock images, both on the about page, but also just like throughout a website? What's your opinion on that?
I think stock images are a fine place to start. I
MVP.
MVP. We're just getting moving. We're doing the bare minimum right now to get things going. And I would not necessarily use stock imagery on an about page because I want to see a picture of you and who you are and your team if that's relevant. But elsewhere on the website, using something like a Pexels or a PicJumbo or a Pixabay, I think those are all fine options for stock imagery. And then understanding that you'll then go back later as you get more professional images or customer images or product images and replace.
Yes, and this is a really common situation, and I want to disagree with you here. My unpopular opinion is if you don't have a great headshot or you don't have a picture of the team, that's okay. Start with a stock image. Find an image of a group of people that sort of resembles you guys, maybe a picture of like a totally random person or someone who kind of looks similar to you. Just put something up today, tomorrow, this week. Make it a priority to get a good picture of the team, of yourself, of your other team members. That way you can make them real, but don't let that be a hurdle or a bottleneck in getting your website up and running. I say get it out there regardless of what the picture is. Put a freaking cartoon. It's okay.
Yes, I agree with that. Don't let it stop you from going forward. And like Janae said, prioritize getting a better picture, a more up-to-date picture, but use what you have to get going or just add something that's an emoji person. What are they called?
Avatar?
An avatar and it's like a Bitmoji or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
both of those, any of those,
Okay.
but put a picture of your dog. Just these are the kinds of things where if we let these smaller details hold us up and keep us from doing the thing, then we're not going to do the thing. The
Yes.
main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. That's been our motto this week. So it's just like just make it happen and get it live. Don't worry about the details. You will fill those in as you go.
Yes, the main thing is getting a website out into the ether that exists. So,
With 5 pages.
with 5 pages. So, page number 3, services or products. So, depending on what you're selling, you are going to either have a page that says services or products. And you are then going to list on that page what your services and or products are. Now, this is another situation where resort to stock imagery, you don't have to have a really long description. You don't at this point need to enable people to make a purchase on your website. That can all come later. All you are doing at this point is proving that your services or products exist and letting people know what they are, period.
Yes. So some titles and descriptions for the products and services are helpful. As always, I think less is more. Keep your copy concise, make it engaging, and make it very straightforward the benefit that the customer is going to have once they make this purchase and they are now the brand new owner or partner with you with your services. Um, if you don't have purchase capabilities, you probably can go ahead and make some of those product service descriptions a little longer. But don't forget to keep a CTA there. So if your products aren't ready to be purchased, make a button for them to add themselves to the wait list, or another way of getting in contact with you, or some other thing you're asking them to do that's not bouncing off your page because the item is there, but they can't do anything with it. So keep in mind, you're always driving people to do something and you already know what that is and you're telling them what to do. If you do have purchase options already available, make it user friendly for your customers to give you their money, whether you integrate with Shopify or use your Wix or Squarespace or whatever site you're using with an integrated system. So you have a merchant service. I mean, this is a whole other technical thing, but Wix has made it really easy. Squarespace have made it really easy to take money from your customers. So even if that's not your long-term plan, because of the fees or whatever it is, just make it possible for people to buy your thing and give you their money.
Yes. And to your point, I think it is so critical that there is some type of call to action on that product or service page. So even if it's, if you haven't figured out how to do a wait list yet, but you have your email opt-in, have them opt into emails and say, we'll notify you when these products or services are available for purchase and with instructions on how to do so. Like make it very straightforward, but capture something from that user so that they don't just leave and never come back.
Mm-hmm. And so right now, where we are at with our own website is still building out more specific, well-crafted service pages. So we have a holding place, which is exactly what we're mentioning, this MVP, minimum viable product. And I think through our whole podcast and brand and effort, what we're trying to do is show you that we're doing the same thing that you are doing. We're not giving you advice and then going and doing something else. So right now, our pages are not yet built, but we still have a place with a CTA where you can click and join our email list or sign up for a consultation and we'll get more information and talk. We're not letting people just drift into the World Wide Web ethers and disappear from our system. So you can do the same thing, just set them up to do something.
Yes, even if that thing is pointing them to your contact page, page number 4. So your contact page is all about making it easy for people to reach you. So you can have a contact form. And again, this functionality is built into a Squarespace or a Wix. It will literally say, insert contact form, and you can say, I want a first name, a last name, a short description where they tell me what they need, a phone number, and an email address. Bam. And it will build that out for you. You can also offer your phone number here, your physical address if you have an in-person location, social handles and ways to follow you on other platforms that you're in, or an email address. So consider which ways you want people to contact you and only put those on your website. If you do not want people to call you via phone, please don't list a number on your contact page because that's exactly what people are going to start to do. So choose your preferred method of outreach and then set up your contact page in a way that is going to enable people to get you there.
Yes. And there's great ways to build generic email addresses. So if you don't personally want all email inquiries through the website coming to your inbox because you're a busy CEO. I mean, come on, you don't have time for that. Then set up an email address like hello at bigbadmarketing.com, customer service at bigbadmarketing.com, something generic to your URL. And then either someone else can manage that or it keeps it separate from your personal email inbox so you can respond in your own time and it's not clogging up your already busy inbox.
Yep, that's a great point. And then the last and final page that we'll mention in your 5-page website is a privacy policy. Now, this is something that is required legally if you are collecting user data on your website, which includes a name and email address. So your privacy policy is a static page that tells your users to your site what data you collect, for what purposes you're collecting it, and if you share it with anyone else. So the privacy policy on the Big Bad Marketing site, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it's in the footer. And it's only in the footer because we don't need it in our navigation bar. It's just there should people need to review it and understand how we're using their data. So ChatGPT can create this for you. You don't generally need a lawyer to do this for you. Big caveat, if you are in an industry like financial services or healthcare that is heavily regulated, you probably want to consult a lawyer about your website's privacy policy, depending on how you're using that website, the information that you're putting out there, and the information that you're obtaining from people. So, privacy policy is sort of the blanket legal thing. If you are in Europe, there's some GDPR stuff that you have to be aware of when you make your privacy policy. In the US, it tends to be more like state laws, but it all gets a little murky. If you're super concerned about your privacy policy because you're taking in a lot of customer data, I would definitely consult with a lawyer. But if you are just an average everyday business getting started, you can go ahead and chat GPT it or whatever your preferred AI tool is.
Oh, yeah. So transparency. How did we create our privacy policy?
Why, Janae? We use Chat GPT.
We are, what is this? Walking the walk and talking the talk. So
Yes.
you can do it too. It's going to be okay. And
Yes.
it's again another barrier. Even if you do need to speak to a lawyer, which you will make that decision for yourself, but use this as a way to just get your website started. You will go in and fill it in with a more properly well thought out form in the right moment. But for now, don't let it be a barrier to getting your site up.
Yes. And remember, we are not legal experts. This is not legal advice. We are not telling you what to do. This is purely for educational purposes. So don't come back and sue us later because we are not lawyers.
We're just big bad marketers
Just
out
big
here
bad
trying to help
marketers.
you.
I love
Okay,
it.
so I think that we just covered it. The 5 pages for your website as you're building. So you don't get overwhelmed. You can just start right now, a home page, an about page, a service or product page, a contact page, and your privacy policy.
And you can see all of these on bigbadmarketing.com if you want an example of what they look like.
Oh, yeah. And then, so we're taking these steps ourselves and we're concurrently building out other pages on our site. We've got those 5 basic pages done. So we have begun to create other pages. One of the primary ones is a resource page. For us, that's a blog. And that's a place where we're posting educational long form content. These are like literally articles about small business marketing so that our people, our small business owners who are interested in marketing, can go to the site and find all kinds of useful information that will help them run their business, make business decisions for their marketing. And it builds trust with those people that, hey, Big Bad Marketing, they actually know what they're talking about. And they're giving me a ton of information on this. They're leading the way in expertise and they're showing thought leadership with this blog content. So our pages are actually go ahead and check it out now. There's new blogs up all the time about each of these topics for our podcast. So you can find all these things that we're like, hey, this is really important for small business owners to know. Go ahead and you'll get more in-depth examples, real life examples of this type of content.
And like we mentioned in our episode about if your business needs a blog. Some businesses might choose to make a blog. Some businesses might not want to make a blog or not necessarily need to make a blog, depending on which types of clients that you serve. So there are other things that you could put in a resources section. So those might be guides or videos on how to use the product or service that you offer. You might have case studies or white papers or templates that people can download to help them do things. Or you might list your testimonials or a portfolio that showcases your work. So there are a lot of other resource options that you can showcase on your site as a sort of down the line consideration once you have your basic 5-page site built out.
Mm-hmm. And then, Brooke, can you talk us a little bit through landing pages, which would again be a consideration after you've already got your basic site up and running and you've got traffic coming to your website?
Yeah, so landing pages are an opportunity for you to speak to a user that has come in through a particular method. So if you decide that you want to start running Google Ads and you are trying to target people with a broken sink, and that's the ad that you choose to run, help me fix my sink. You might have a landing page that's all about fixing your sink to really draw those people in and say, here, the resources that we would use for it. Here's how to contact us if you need help fixing your sink. Maybe you're running an Instagram campaign and you are looking for fitness professionals that are small business owners because that's an audience that you want to attract. Then your landing page could be speaking to the pain points of a fitness professional and how it's hard to get clients and it's hard to get people to want to exercise and it's hard to get people to pay for a gym membership if they can go for a walk and all of these things that are common concerns from that group. So your landing page has one goal in mind, and that is to convert the people that are coming there to do a particular thing. So maybe that's enroll in a course, maybe that's buy a product, maybe that's sign up for a service, maybe that's a free trial, maybe that's a template download. Whatever it is, your landing page is designed for that audience and that campaign, and that is the only purpose that it serves. So at any given time, you might have one landing page, you might have many landing pages, you might have them running all the time, you might take them down once a campaign ends. So those are just a more flexible way to use your website to target people for a specific purpose.
Sure. And if you think that you are ready to start dabbling into landing pages, but you're not quite sure how to develop funnels or how to tailor the landing pages to your unique campaigns or unique personas, reach out to us, bigbadmarketing.com. Shameless plug, but this is where we can come through and help you. You've already gotten the basics done and you're ready to grow.
Yes, definitely. And we love that. We love crafting targeted campaigns for a particular audience and creating the copy and design that really speaks to that audience. So definitely holler at us for all those needs. So now that we've sort of gone through the basics, the foundational elements of the website, and then some things that you can consider to go above and beyond, what other features of our website should we be considering at this point?
Yeah. So I was thinking we had an episode before where we were talking about the tangible things and the intangible things. And I think this fits so much. The next items that we're going to describe fit so much into that, right? The tangible things are those 5 pages and then whatever you do above and beyond that. But there's also these features of a website that are less clear, less tangible that can make such a difference. I was calling them the je ne sais quoi of the website, or like that. I don't know, but there's this element that and an essence that they bring to your website that make it go above and beyond so that it's functional, it's fun, it's easy to use. People love being on your site. They're hanging out, they're having parties. Number one, huge, is going to be simple navigation. So that takes the form of a clear menu, off easy drop down buttons or side across buttons that make it super simple for users to find exactly what they're looking for. And here's a professional super secret tip that's a personal opinion is the less you have on your menu, the better. Each menu can lead to further options once they get deeper into your website. But for now, have it really high level, have it basic. Don't make your people hunt around and scroll through a ton of products or services while they're still on your homepage, right? Let them go to the next page and then be easily guided step by step, page by page.
Yes. And it is likely that you have been on hundreds, if not thousands, of websites in your lifetime. So look at the navigation of any of the websites that you love. Let it be your guide. Remember that you are small. Remember that you might not have all the frills of someone with a larger website, but to Janae's point, make it clear, make it easy. Don't make people wonder what you're doing. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Websites are designed the way they are for a particular reason, so there is no need to try and do a bottom of the screen nav bar or a right nav. Like people don't like those things. They tend to not work well, so stick with what is tried and true.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And on that note, make it easy to use from a cell phone or a tablet. This is called a mobile friendly website. And I did a little research to figure out just how frequently people are using smart devices versus desktop devices. And I was shocked. My jaw literally dropped. 65%. That's not half. That's more than half of people are visiting websites from a phone or a tablet. So if your website is not optimized to be used from a scrolling thumb, you got to get in there and make it so. Desktop is great. That's a nice starting place, but make sure it's easy to use from an iPhone, from an Android, whatever kind of device someone is using.
As a reminder, 73.4% of statistics are completely made up on the spot. So use that 65% as a guide. And the nice thing about your website is that once you start getting traffic to it, you can see exactly what percentage of your users are on mobile and desktop. And the analytics tools will tell you. So you may come to find that if you are a consultant for professional services, 90% of your traffic is actually coming through desktop because these tend to be business people who are looking on their work computers. But if you're a gym, you might find that 80% of your people are signing up from their phones. So until you have the data to back where you're sort of putting your effort in, just make sure that it is 100% mobile friendly. And the nice thing about these sites like a Wix or a Squarespace or even WordPress is that they enable you to toggle back and forth with your views. So in Squarespace, it's up in the upper right-hand corner and you can switch to mobile and see what that looks like as you're modifying a page. So make sure that there's not too much space. That's a common thing that happens. People forget about the mobile view and now they're scrolling and there's an entire gap, a screen length gap where there's nothing there. So just make sure you're looking for things like that and that the experience on mobile is going to be what you would expect from visiting a website on your phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And those sites make it super easy to check. So don't be afraid if you're one of our Wix, Squarespace newbies making your website from scratch. It's okay. It will be easy. Click, click, click.
Yes.
Okay. So what are the other essential pieces of our website's essence, Brooke?
Brand consistency. So create a cohesive experience. So again, this goes back to your brand elements that we talked about in a prior episode. Logo, tone, colors, fonts, your voice, making sure everything sounds like you and feels like you. So that even extends to your buttons for your calls to action. Make sure that your button color matches your brand colors and that the things you're saying on your buttons sound like you. So if you're incredibly professional, you might use things like sign up. But if you're a little more fun, you might say something like, let's go, or I'm in. So make it on brand for you and make sure that that brand presents throughout. Another important point we've talked about repeatedly on this episode is making sure that you have clear calls to action, clear CTAs. Always, always, always tell the user what you want them to do. You'll be surprised how much they actually do it. So give them the opportunity to do that. And then basic SEO elements. So we did a whole episode on SEO, which could probably be a series of episodes because there's so much to it. But there are some basics that you can do for SEO when you are building out those initial pages. And most of the time, you are going to find your SEO elements in the page settings. And it will do things like let you define the SEO title and the SEO meta description and let you add an image and an alt tag for that image. So these are just some of the things that you'll want to make sure are filled out and that you are structuring your pages so that people are more likely to find you. Then the last thing that we'll mention is your load speed of your page. So in the SEO episode, we talked about how technical elements can impact your site. The thing with a Wix and a Squarespace is you have a lot less control of the page speed. A lot of that is handled by the servers on the back end. So if you're not responsible for that, which you're not in the case of Squarespace or Wix because they do it for you, that may not be under your control, but you can still do things on the front end, like with the way your images are loading and things to increase your page speed. So we'll put a link in the show notes for the Google page speed checker, so to speak, and you can just run your website through that and make sure that there's nothing else that you should be doing to increase your site speed.
And I wanted to mention this is not a paid advertisement for services like Wix or Squarespace, but we will also provide links to those so you can sign up and get your own website underway with one of those really simple tools.
But if you work for Squarespace and you want to sponsor this podcast, please reach out, Brooke at bigbadmarketing.com or Janae at bigbadmarketing.com, and we would be happy to have that conversation with you because we love that tool. It makes it so super easy. And one of the things that we have talked about is only promoting things that we use ourselves and we're happy to use. And Squarespace is definitely one of those tools.
Oh, yes. Another thing that we love is very groan-worthy, eye-rolly jokes. Brooke, do you still have a joke for us today on websites? We were bopping around trying to come up with some silly website jokes, but I would love to hear. I think they're called dad jokes these days.
Why did the web developer go broke?
Why?
Because he cleared his cache. If you don't know what cache is, Google CACHE, and that will enlighten you. And then you'll laugh at that joke too.
Oh, yes, maybe. Or you'll roll your eyes. Either way, it's a win.
Yeah, and that's okay. Because Janae, did you know why did the website break up with the server?
Why?
Because it needed more space.
Okay. Yeah, that one's a little more straightforward.
Yeah.
All right. So go on, get yourself a basic website if you don't have one yet. Keep $10,000 in your pocket and let it slow drip a couple hundred a year to maintain your site as you're building your following and getting your business off the ground. And if you've got more questions, ideas, comments, share them here on the podcast in the comment section. We'd love to connect and know more about what you're doing.